majors and things beyond the classroom. So whether that's undergraduate research, or you want to study abroad out one of 85 countries to choose from. There's 500 plus clubs and organizations. So there'll be clubs relating to your major. There'll be just fun clubs like skydiving, which I wouldn't define as fun, or baking, or whatever it may be. And then there's also opportunities within Greek life. So the first week of school, you'll really get to get kind of acclimated to K-State. We'll have an activity fair where you'll get to walk around, talk to the different clubs and organizations, and kind of see what's out there and what you're interested in getting involved in. But kind of thinking about like the next steps forward. So I know we kind of have a variety of people at different stages at K-State. So if you are a senior, it is not too late to apply to K-State this year. Or if you're freshman, sophomore, junior, looking ahead to K-State, this will be really good for you to know. At K-State, we need either one of these options we'll see on the screen. So a 3.25 GPA, and that can be weighted or unweighted. So if you're taking maybe some AP classes, you may have some weighted GPAs, or a 21 on the ACT. So we encourage you to take the ACT, but it's not required for admission at K-State. The application takes like 30 minutes, so it's super, super fast and simple there. And you can do that at k-state.edu/apply. And then there's lots of scholarship opportunities at K-State. You're going to see this year's seniors dates on this slide. And so we extended our priority date to March 15th for freshmen and transfer students. If you are a freshman, sophomore, junior, I would plan on December 1st, but no, we have scholarships for the university, and then you have additional academic scholarships too. But we'd love to see you on campus at K-State. We have virtual options and on-campus visit options that you can register for at k-state.edu/visit. And then I have my contact information. I'll type it in the chat too. So if you have additional questions, you can email me, or you can meet with me one-on-one for a 30-minute meeting at calendly.com/meetarkaylee. But thank you, and go Cats.
All righty, that's our 5 minutes. Go ahead. We're going to start off with Amy Sellersmith, representing KU and KU Edwards campus.
Sure. So thank you, Jonathan. My name is Amy Sellers, and I work at the KU Edwards campus, which is actually a branch campus of the University of Kansas here in Overland Park in Kansas City. And so I mainly work with transfer students, but I'll touch on Big KU is in Lawrence. Similar to most big flagship schools, you have the opportunity to live in dorms. They have over 200 undergraduate programs. Football, basketball is really big there. And so you'll kind of get your typical like going off to college experience there. I work at the University of Kansas Edwards campus, and then we also partner, we have the KU Med Center, which is here in Kansas City as well. And so both KU Edwards and the Med Center have bachelor's degree programs that are transfer specific. So at the KU Edwards campus, we have over 14 programs. Some of them are very specific and new. We have a bachelor's degree in American Sign Language. We have a bachelor's degree in environmental studies. Our newest bachelor's degree is in health sciences. So it's kind of the like healthcare management, or if you want to be a healthcare administrator, that would be that degree. And then on the KU Med Center side, they have two bachelor's degrees. They have a bachelor's of science in nursing, and they also have a bachelor's of health information management. And those are also transfer in programs. And so when I talk about transfer, what that means is our programs teach at the KU Edwards and the KU Med Center, they teach the junior, senior level campuses. And so, or courses. And so most of our students transfer in from a community college, or at the Med Center, they might do 2 years in Lawrence and then transfer to the Med Center to wrap up their last 2 years. It's pretty common. I work with transfer students a lot. And so it depends on the college. To be a transfer student, you need at least 28 transferable credit hours from whether it's a 2-year or 4-year institution. It doesn't require the ACT as long as you have those transferable credit hours. And then dependent on the program, most programs take a 2.5 GPA, and that's transferable GPA. So that's your GPA coming from your community college or other institution. It's not your high school GPA. And so it's a 2.5. There are a few programs that allow a 2.0 to a 2.25, but rarely would we allow something below a 2.0 GPA transferring in from a community college. So, sorry, I'm watching the chat. So at the KU Edwards campus, we have a lot of our students one of our most common programs is molecular biosciences, which is the pre-med degree. And something to note is just because you might get your bachelor's degree at KU doesn't mean you're automatically accepted into the med school. They are two completely separate schools. And so it looks good to go to KU, obviously, but it's not guaranteed acceptance into the medical school. That will happen during your senior year after you've taken the MCAT, which is the medical admissions test that you need to be able to apply to medical schools. And so a lot of times our students that are interested in pre-med or going off to medical school will apply to about 5 different medical schools or more in order to go there. Something to note about the University of Kansas Medical Center and KU Edwards is that we don't have dorms. And so most, if not all of our students are commuter students, or they live here in the Kansas City area. And so they just drive to the different campuses, take classes, and go home. So I'll leave some contact information, my contact information in the chat, as well as some of the websites to KU admissions, KU Edwards admissions, and KU Med Center admissions. And I'll turn it over to Jonathan.
Alrighty, that should be good. Okay, if you have any questions, again, put them in the chat. We're gonna go and get started for the next person. I see Fort Hays State University, we have Haiti Zamora. Go ahead and you have 5 minutes, go ahead.
Perfect, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you all because I do have some really important numbers that I wanna make sure that I get covered during these 5 minutes. So give me just 1 second. All righty, and then let me take a look. All righty, can you all see full screen? Welcome to Fort Hays State. Awesome. Hi everyone, my name is Haiti Zamora. I am a 2-time grad of Fort Hays State University. I got my bachelor's degree in organizational leadership and then continued on to get my master's degree in higher education and student affairs. And now I find myself working here in Hays, Kansas. I'm originally from Olathe, so I'm very familiar with the area. I went to Spring Hill High School. So anytime I'm in town or I work with students from your location, it's always a happy feeling because I am really familiar with the communities around there, especially our Hispanic communities, because my parents still live in Olathe. But just to give you all more information about Fort Hays State University, many of you, myself included, probably don't know where we're located. We are located about 4 hours west. If you go on I-70 west, you'll go 4 hours straight and then you'll find Hays, Kansas. As you can see on our little map, and we are located right between Denver and Kansas City. So right in between 2 very large metropolitan areas. You head west on I-70 from Kansas City, you'll hit us. Once you're in Hays, if you keep going west, another 4 hours, you'll hit Denver. So we're very conveniently located. So a little bit more about sizes and why it's important. Our total enrollment number here at Fort Hays State is close to 16,000 students. However, that number is a little bit misleading because we only have about 4,490 students on our physical campus. So what that means is your average classroom size here at Fort Hays State is going to be close to 20 to 25 students, which is pretty close or very close to what you might be used to at your high schools now. And, you know, we really do value those connections and relationships. You're not going to find any lecture halls on our residence halls. It won't be unlikely at some larger schools that you might be in a classroom with 200, 300 students. That won't be the case here. The larger lecture hall, if you will, that we have on campus only holds 60 students, and typically we never cap that off, especially now. And honestly, the deeper you get into your area of study, so the deeper you get into your majors, into your junior and senior year, those 20, 25 student classroom sizes do go down significantly. I remember my senior year, I was taking some pretty difficult classes, but most of them were about 10 people in the classroom, including our professors, which allowed for a lot of one-on-one time with them. We do have over 70 undergraduate majors and minors available through Fort Hays State University. We have anything that you can possibly think of. If you're looking for something very specific, we probably have a good variation or an emphasis that's pretty close to it. We have anything from nursing to business to construction management, and all of our majors you can find at that link that we posted right below our Victory Tiger image there. They're all are housed under one of these 5 colleges, so different concentrations within Fort Hays State. We here at Fort Hays State, we want to be fully transparent. So I do want to spend some time talking to you all about cost and what that would look like for you all considering or looking into Fort Hays State University. So I know most, if not all, are going to be Kansas residents. There's a little bit of a cost difference for our Missouri students, but we actually have a contiguous state rate, meaning any high school student that graduates or transfers from an institution that borders Kansas, we have a way more affordable rate as opposed to an out-of-state resident rate. But tuition and fees, that $5,449.20, that's based on 30 credit hours a year or 15 each semester. For you to be considered a full-time student, the minimum you can take at most institutions is 12 credit hours. We base this cost, that tuition and fees cost, on 15 or 30 a year, just because that's how many we're seeing our first-time freshmen are taking, especially if you're wanting to stay within that 4-year range of graduation. Room and board, that's just a really fancy way of saying where are you gonna live and what are you gonna eat. That cost is for the year, and that includes a full year of living on a residence halls during your freshman or first year transferring into Fort Hays State, and a meal plan. Books and supplies, we don't ever see our students spending more than $600 on average a year. But with tuition and fees, room and board, books and supplies, you're looking at about $14,430 for tuition here at Fort Hays State, which does look like a big, scary number, but we are the most affordable 4-year public institution in the state of Kansas, meaning that.
Looks like we have time. Sorry, 25 minutes, but we will go ahead and we might have some time at the end to finish out any questions or doubts. Sorry. Adi, you can go ahead and start your presentation with Avila.
Thank you. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and share my screen as well. All right, so first of all, thank you all for being here today and allowing us the opportunity to, talk about our university with you. My name is Arit, and I am the admissions representative here at Avila University. We are a 4-year private university located here in the Missouri side. We're pretty close to everything, pretty close to downtown, plaza, so we're very convenient. A little bit about me. I did graduate from Avila University in 2019. So if you have any questions about like campus life, relationships with professors, staff, or anything like that, please feel free to ask me. I would love to talk about my experience with that. But some of the things that I loved about Avila was, the one-on-one attention we got from professors. I know that for me, it was very important to build those relationships and that support system for myself. And that is something that Avila offered for me. A little bit more about Avila. We are a 4-year private university. It's Catholic, and we are founded by the Sisters of St. Joseph Condolet, and our mission is to prepare lifelong learners who make meaningful contributions to the global community. And then really quickly about our academic majors and minors, we have a lot of different majors and minors available for students. Most of our most popular ones would be nursing, psychology, education, business administration, computer science. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen here, but if there's something that you don't see on there that you are interested in learning more about, please let us know. I would love to talk to you more about that in detail. Um, in order to be eligible to apply for Avila University, we do require a 2.5 GPA and a 20 ACT score. And if you didn't get the chance to take an ACT this year, we went test optional, which means that if you have a 2.75 core GPA, meaning no electives, just math, English, science, foreign language, you would also be admissible to the university. It's pretty easy to apply to the university. It's a free application. All you have to do is go to avila.edu. The application takes no more than 5 minutes. And afterwards, you would just reach out to your high school counselor, let them know that you applied, and to send your transcripts and ACT scores for us. After that, we'll reach out to you within 24 to 48 business hours with an admissions decision. Something to also keep in mind is to apply for the FAFSA as soon as you can. That way we could also go ahead and generate an award letter for you, which would, talk about the out-of-pocket cost. A little bit about tuition. I do want to start off by saying, do not get scared off by the tuition price you see on here. This is our sticker price for tuition. It's the $21,740 actually. And a little bit about that, what that includes is 12 to 18 credits per semester. So whether you take 12 or 18 credits, you're pretty much paying the same thing. And with our Avila Promise, we encourage our students to take between 15 to 18 credits to be in order to graduate within 4 years. With tuition, your books are also included, okay? So you don't have to worry about finding your books elsewhere, going on Amazon, trying to find the best deal for your books or anything. As soon as you're enrolled for classes, your books are automatically ordered by us, so you don't have to worry about that. Your student ID and your parking pass are also in there. And for those of students interested in room and board, living on campus, we also have that available for you. Something that I do want to talk about is scholarships. So I know that sticker price seems very, very high, but we have a lot of different scholarships. They range from 7,000 to 12,000, and they are based on your academics. So GPA and ACT score. So let's say if you are eligible for the presidential scholarship, that automatically cuts down your tuition to almost 9,740. So that's already for tuition, books, student ID, parking pass, and that's not even including your FAFSA, which is also going to come in. I've been working at Avila for about a year and a half, and I've seen students go to Avila for little to no money, $2,000, $3,000 a year. After the scholarships we offer, different engagement grants, FAFSA, and for those students who are undocumented or have DACA, we also have our No Barrier Scholarship, which we just introduced this year, and I'm really excited about. And that's $1,500 automatically every year. And for those students who want to apply for institutional aid app, you're also eligible for up to $1,000. So if you're not eligible to apply for the FAFSA, you can apply for institutional aid, and we can go ahead and see what you would be eligible for. All that to say, tuition here at Avila is very, very doable. So keep us in mind. A little bit more about our Avila Promise, just pretty quickly. This is basically what we are all about. I know that it's very important for students and families to know what they're getting out of their college. So we do offer tuition protection, 4-year graduation guarantee. This tends to be a little bit different for pre-health programs just because they naturally are a little bit longer. But for nursing students, that goes into that, the 4-year graduation guarantee. We also have guaranteed internships and research experiences for students, their junior or senior year. So you'll graduate with not only a degree, but also that experience under your belt, which is going to be very, very good looking on your resume whenever you are looking for a job. And we also do a lot of travel awards, and that's up to a $1,000 travel award. And, if you are interested in learning more about that, let me know. But we are doing traditional on-campus visits this year. So if you are interested, please schedule a visit with us. This is my information, and I'll also put it on the chat box so you can visit us.
Weird.
Thank you.
Ooh, you just hit the time. Sorry about cutting you off.
You're fine.
Just double checking, is Ivan Ramirez or present for me in KC or no? If Ivan is not present. We can actually just go ahead and go straight to questions. We have about 6 minutes left of this session. So does anybody have any questions or any of the reps want to do one final comment before 12? We are ending right at 12. So yeah.
Haley, you had a question on the chat from Janet. Can you answer that question?
Yeah.
Janet asked if.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the question. Oh, sorry. So the question was about scholarships for students in Missouri. So if you live in Missouri, you are considered an out-of-state resident. However, we just implemented a new scholarship this year we're super excited about. It's called the Missouri Tuition Match Program. And so students that have a 3.25 GPA and a 22 on the ACT are eligible to receive in-state tuition. So you would just want to apply to K-State by the priority date. So in future years will probably be December 1st. We've extended it to March 15th this year. So, and then at K-State, do you do early enrollment? So when you apply to K-State, you should receive your admissions decision within about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then seniors can register for our new student orientation now. Students will actually meet with an advisor and enroll classes in June. So, yeah, and let's see, I think there's one more question. Let me read real quick. Perfect. Okay, I think that's all the questions I have now. If you have more, you can drop them in the chat and I'll be sure to answer them.
And I have it understood as well that these slides will be available to send out to all of the attendees, just in case they missed anything, right? Okay, good. And then Maria just asked for KU. Oh, sorry. You can go ahead and answer that. You were already answering that, sorry. Good. Amy?
Was that me? I heard somebody else talk.
It was me, but you have a question, so on chat. So.
Yes, I see that. I believe I'll have to look at the website. I believe it is in person at the KU Med Center. I think some classes might be online, and that might be changing just because of COVID affecting some of that, courses being turned online, but there are some in person at the KU Med Center, which is located here in Kansas City.
Okay.
Haley, did you see that early enrollment question?
Yes, I answered it.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay.
Thank you.
I was moving quickly.
My sound went off and on for a little bit, so I bet that's sorry.
All right, does anybody have any other questions? We have about 3 minutes before we head back to the main session. Oh yeah, Maria, by the way, thank you for asking that question. And also, who was the other question? I think this is Maria and Araceli. Maria, if you haven't won anything, please reach out to us and we'll get you a gift card for asking a question. Anybody have a question for our reps?
I have a really quick question. What if I live in Olathe? Does it work the same with that? I forgot what it's called. It's like Missouri, for the out of state tuition thing. Does that work the same way if you live in Kansas and you want a school in Missouri?
So each school kind of has their own policy. So you'd want to check in with the school that you're looking at in Missouri and see if they have any sort of tuition match programs. Every school kind of calls it a little bit something different.
Okay, so what if I'm like considering Avila University? Would that, I think she's over here.
So your question was about out-of-state tuition?
Yes.
So at Avila University, we are a private university, which basically means that we have a flat rate tuition. So that tuition that we just talked about, that is tuition for everyone, whether they're out of state or in state, Missouri or Kansas. So you don't have to worry about that. The only thing you'd have to worry about is just applying for either that institutional app or that FAFSA, whether you are eligible or not.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And then I put in I don't know if you have applied yet, but I did put the link in there to apply. And again, it's a free application, doesn't take more than 5 minutes. And then you would automatically be getting an academic scholarship, whether that be from 7,000 to 12,000. And then afterwards, you'll get your admissions decision within 24 to 48 hours. And then we can talk about your award letter and all that fun stuff, okay?
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Awesome. I look forward to speaking with you later on.
Thanks.
I think we just have one last question. Can parents and students attend at the same time? And my experience, yes. But any other reps have any other insight on that as well? Working with parents and students going to school at the same time?
So is the question asking, can students and parents attend a university at the same time? Am
Yes,
I
I'm assuming.
understanding that correctly? Actually, yes. So last week, and obviously it depends on the university, but at Fort Hays State, we have our on-campus student population, and then we have some FHSU online programs. But just last week, I had a campus visit with a mom and a daughter. Both daughter was a senior, and she was going to go the traditional route after high school, was going to attend Fort Hays State. And mom was actually going to go back to school because she just had an associate's degree, and they were both going to be pursuing a nursing degree here at Fort Hays State.
Alrighty, after that, looks like we are out of time. Let's go ahead to back to the main session for wrapping up. Thank you so much, Rebs, Kaylee, Amy, Haiti, and Ari. Thank you so much for presenting. I know it's a little time, but thank you so much for doing that for our parents and students.